So today I thought it would be fun to look at 10 things Americans don't have. You don't have them. That's what somebody in the viewership will think that I'm saying, whereas I'm not. I'm just pointing out it's fun to look at things that some people have in some countries that people don't have in other countries. Go away, Chads. And then there's another group of Chads who are going to say, well, we do have those, Diane. Yes, because it's 2019 and you can get anything anywhere. I'm talking about things you cannot commonly get in your country. Like, these are things we have all the time that you might not have there. You can get everything on the internet. You can even get people on the internet. It's not necessarily a good thing. I'm also not gonna go into really political stuff, like, I don't know, just the people who try to drag down videos with political stuff. Okay, that's enough ranting. Go away, Chad. You're not welcome here. Go away. That was a terribly ranty start. But yes, I'm just talking about stuff that you cannot readily get available in America in the same way that every single person in Ireland would have these things. I decided to do this list when I pondered further on the whole kettle thing. It's wild to me that you guys don't have electric kettles all the time. Before I get into the list, do be sure to subscribe, otherwise your internet is going to go away. It's just going to go poof, and the whole thing should go away. Let's get on with the list. Coming in at number 10, it's one that was suggested by Lindsay Anna over on Twitter, and that is hot water bottles. In houses in Ireland, you will find every single person has at least 3 hot water bottles. One that is kind of leaky, but we keep it for some strange reason. Hot water bottles are great because it's like cuddling like a warm, cozy thing. And I remember when I was in the Walmart in America, I definitely saw those beanie things that you put in the microwave, and I've had those and they're great. But they're not as good as hot water bottles, which are probably really dangerous if they burst. Have they burst on people? Does that happen? I mean, they're very rubbery, so they should be strong if they're well made. Hot water bottles are great when you're lady time of the monthing.
Stamp a double stamp. You can't triple stamp a double stamp, Lord.
Half the viewership go, ugh, get over it, be a grown up. Yeah, our tummies hurt sometimes, and hot water bottles are excellent for fixing that. Hot water bottles are great as well for putting in under your duvet, at your toes, when your feetsies are cold. And hot water bottles are great when you just feel sick or you get in from the cold. They're just great, and they're cuddly and snuggly and lovely. Hot water bottles. Up next, we have Easter eggs. In America, you guys have mad love for Easter, and you do those Easter egg hunts, but your Easter eggs are very different from our Easter eggs here. See, in Ireland we managed to commercialise Easter, so our big brand names like Cadbury's and Nestle each have their own egg for every single chocolate bar that's around. We have the generic no-name eggs that you guys have for Easter egg hunts too, but the chocolate is so different. Oh, I want an Easter egg and I can't have one because it's November. So with the Easter eggs that I'm talking about, the chocolate is really thick and the brand name is stamped onto the front of it, and they're generally larger than the Easter eggs that you guys have. You can actually get them in a series of sizes. You can get like small ones or middly ones or really big ones. And they always come jam-packed with extra bars of chocolate or the sweets that are associated with that type of egg. And it's all about, oh, I got all these different brands, which is cool. But yeah, I mean, it is definitely exploitative because it's all about the commercialism of the whole thing. But you know, isn't everything. I'm quite sure that as soon as the companies figure out that there's big money to be made by exporting that to the US, that they'll do that. But honestly, you'll like it. So the next thing Americans don't have is J-cloths. I discovered this when I, as a clumsy person, knocked over an entire bottle of Coca-Cola earlier this year in New York. I went looking for a J-cloth, but all that was available was tea towels and also paper towels. A J-cloth, with the J standing for the company Johnson's, a Johnson's cloth, is something that's kind of in between the two. It's really good for soakages. So usually your J-cloth will be really wet, and it's good for spillages and stuff, but you don't throw it away, you keep it. And then you just wash it and you use it again. There are loads of different versions of J-cloths around the world, but none is as good as the soak-up ability of a J-cloth. And sometimes you just need a J-cloth, like a J-cloth. I'm not sponsored by J-cloth. You'd think I would be because I'm saying J-cloth so much, but J-cloth, you need J-cloths. The next thing you guys don't have in America is Paracetamol. When I go into a pharmacy and ask for Paracetamol, they suggest Tylenol. And Tylenol is a brand name for paracetamol there. And I'm like, no, I just want Paracetamol. I don't care about the brand name. And they're like, Tylenol. And I'm like, no, just Paracetamol and whatever the cheapest brand is available. Tylenol. And then I discovered you guys don't have very many alternatives to Tylenol. Tylenol have a monopoly on the paracetamol market. What if my ex-husband was Mr. Tylenol and I wanted a different brand from Tylenol? I just wanted a paracetamol. An own store paracetamol. No, I have to have Tylenol. And that's just the way it is here in America. Tylenol. There are alternatives of paracetamol in America, but it's so strange how they've really forced the Tylenol on you. Like, have a Tylenol. It's really weird. It's like you're brainwashed by the pharmacists to have Tylenol. You just want any paracetamol. I didn't know that upset me so much till I started talking about it in this video, but it's okay because we're learning things about ourselves by making videos. The next thing you don't have in America, much, is prawn cocktail flavour crisps. Prawn cocktail flavour is one of the most popular flavours in Ireland and the UK. And okay, if somebody said to me before I had prawn cocktail flavour or knew prawn cocktail flavour existed, I'm just putting myself in an alternate universe right now where prawn cocktail flavour never existed for me. It's a weird world. If somebody said to me, try prawn cocktail flavour, I'd be like, ew, that sounds disgusting. When in actual fact, prawn cocktail flavour is... I don't like prawns, but I like prawn cocktail flavour. I can't quite describe the taste, except to say it's sort of fizzy on your tongue. It's like the most fizzy of flavours. It's nothing like a prawn, I think. It kind of smells like a prawn, like a little bit. But you guys don't know what you're missing out on not having prawn cocktail flavour. It's good. The next things Americans don't commonly have is B-days. Now, not every house in Ireland has B-days either, but they're definitely more readily available than they are in the US. And no, they're not for washing your feet. B-days are definitely more of a French thing than an Irish thing, but they have come over to us, and now when fancy schmancy people build their new houses, they put B-days in their bathrooms because they're fancy schmancy. And B-days are for cleaning out your bits and bobs.
No way.
There's something nice and hygienic about the whole thing, so fair play to B-days, but in America you definitely might enjoy B-days if you had more B-days. B-days. Why am I saying words a lot? The next thing you don't have in America that I feel you're missing out on is the two-tap thing. Now, I totally get the benefits of one tap, and most places in Ireland do have one tap and also two taps in their house. The nice thing about two taps is that you can have all hot or all cold water, just depending on what you feel like. And you can measure out exactly how much you want really easily. Now, I do get that sometimes you might burn the bejesus out of your hand, which is not likely to happen when you have a single tap. But that's the fun of two taps. And sure, don't we all look for fun in our taps? I don't know, I just think it's nice to have the option of two taps. It's cool or something. The next thing you guys don't have very commonly is castles. And I really took this for granted until I went abroad and noticed. In Ireland, we have castles everywhere. There are hundreds of castles. Like, I'll pass a castle when I go for a walk. Now, these aren't castles like princesses live in castles. They're just castles that back in yonder day where well, princess types lived. Now, the funny thing is, a lot of these castles in Ireland have been monetized and they have gift shops and people go visit the castles. But the funniest part of that is when you're traveling out of your way to go and see this castle, you'll pass about 17 castles when you're getting there, because those castles have not been monetized. Seriously, if you're coming to visit Ireland, one of the biggest hacks I would say is don't pay to go and see a castle. Just drive around and find some castles. Castles are cool, but they're also just kind of buildings now, just brick buildings. But again, that's because I take them for granted. I see them all the time. You might enjoy them if you've never seen a castle before. I was trying to keep a lot of food off this list, but I really couldn't make this list without mentioning number 2. That's sausage rolls. Oh, sausage rolls. There are 2 types of sausage rolls. You can get crispy ones that are sausage rolls, and there are like soft, squishy sausage rolls. Both types of sausage rolls have their value, and both types can't get in America readily. Sausage rolls are pretty bad for you, but they taste so good and they go so well with brown sauce or ketchup, and brown sauce is another thing you can't get in America. Brown sauce is great. I mentioned that one in another list. But sausage rolls, trust me, sausage rolls are amazing. You should bring them to America and distribute them oft. People don't say oft enough anymore, I feel. And the number 1 thing that you don't have in America that is just wild and you really should get because they're great fun, it's Christmas crackers. At every dinner table at Christmas, you will find a bunch of Christmas crackers, and usually they're cheap as all hell, and they're distributed by the supermarkets, and they put a brand name on them, a bit like Easter eggs. Inside a Christmas cracker is a string thing that lets off a little snap. It's like, it seems dangerous when I describe it, but it's Cool. People don't die from Christmas crackers. They probably do if you Google hard enough. One person holds one end of the cracker and another person holds the other end of the cracker, and you just pull. And one person will get the big end and one person will get the bad end, and they're the loser. But the person who gets the big end gets a paper hat that makes you look really silly, but it's fun. And also you'll get a really bad dad joke inside. What monkey spent too much time getting fake tanned? Answer, an orangutan. They're so bad, they're good, if you know what I mean. They're talking points at the dinner table. Also inside you'll get a rubbishy prize. No matter if you buy the fancy pants crackers or you buy the cheapy crackers, the price is always terrible. It's just more expensively terrible. It's usually something like nail clippers or some plastic tat. I'm not really selling the Christmas crackers well, but it's just traditional and they're just fun. You need Christmas crackers in your lives, I feel. And that's it for today's list. Let me know if there's anything that you find you can't get readily available in America that you wish you could. Today's video goes out to a couple of patrons. The first patron is Jason Moir. This is a picture from Chimney Rock Park in the mountains of western North Carolina. Jason wants a special shout out to those who are away from their families during the holidays. Thanks, Jason. The second shout out goes to Jim Weed. Jim would like to shout out grandparents, some of the most loving and caring people in the world. Here's a picture of his wife Marilyn's grandparents. The photo was taken around 1910. There's also a link to a video on Jim's channel in the description box where he answers, is there a Santa Claus? It's very sweet, go check it out. Thanks, Jim. Kevin Swiger wants to shout out his friend cosplayer Peachy. Peachy is a Twitch streamer and there's a link to that in my description box below. And finally, Eric wants to shout out editor Diane. He thinks she needs a warm and fuzzy hug. Thanks, Eric. And that's it for today's video. I'll see you later in the week. Bye. We can get them in my local store in middle of nowhere. Hot water bottles. Coming up next. Hot water bottles, and they always come jam-packed with and they always come and breathe. And it's all about, oh, I got all these different brands. Oh, hello. Hold me back.